Alright, what is up, YouTube? Greetings from an alley in Ajaccio, Corsica. We just went to the citadel up above, which I would have gotten you some video footage of. Actually, I did get you some video footage of. But, unfortunately, there was a backhoe over there making an enormous amount of noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that footage in right now and let you guys see it so that you can get a view of the fort that overlooks both the bay and the surrounding island. Very, very lovely, although not as well kept as some of the other forts we've been to in previous places, like Malaga comes to mind, or even St. Augustine, Florida. I think if they were able to just maybe charge a little bit of a fee, they would be able to maintain the fort a little bit better. Doesn't have to be anything big, but like the one in Malaga that I mentioned, and I believe the one in St. Augustine too, charges a few bucks, and that means that the maintenance is kept up a bit better. But today we are coming to you from, as I said, Corsica, home of Napoleon, where he was from originally, and hopefully we'll have a nice day. Stay tuned. So I guess it's a bit early for some of our French friends. Not everything is open just yet, but we are having a nice time nonetheless. Just walking through some of these alleyways here in Corsica. Some really lovely old buildings. Here, I'll give you a shot where we're at right now, making our way up this little alley. And this is obviously a place where people live, because there are apartments on either side of us here. And right up in front of us there, you can see some of the older buildings with the residents hanging out the windows this morning, enjoying the cool morning air. There's also some little shops here. This looks like a woodworking shop right here. So really interesting. I'm guessing, I've seen a couple of woodworking shops, so I'm guessing that is something that is a cottage industry here in Corsica. But that remains to be seen. Right now, we're just going to head downtown. Looks like there's some construction going on down here, but we're going to go to the main square and back towards the area where all the sailboats are, and the little harbor that they have here as well. Very picturesque, very French, very lovely, and right now not too crowded. I mean, it's great. I did see a ship over there in the harbor, but I haven't seen a ton of people wandering around, so maybe they haven't gotten off yet. I don't know. But as for us, right now we're just following our noses to see where it takes us. Central Square in Corsica. Statue, very pretty. Cafe culture is alive and well in France, as you can see over here behind me. Tons of people out this morning. It is a weekday too, and relatively late in the day, and people are out enjoying coffee and pastries, I'm sure. There's a ton of traffic here too. I don't know if it's just because of all the work going on around here or what, but there is just this sort of traffic jam you see behind me has been ongoing and all day long since we've been here. There are just cars everywhere flooding up the streets. Judging from the higher end shops, stores, and cafes here in Corsica, I am going to go out on a limb here and guess that a large part of their GDP is generated via tourism, because there are some very fancy stores here with some expensive products in them, and lots of cafes and restaurants that are not at all what I would describe as being cheap. So my guess is this is definitely a vacation destination for people probably from continental Europe. Jet in, beaches, mountains, lovely scenery, restaurants, probably plenty of hotels and bed and breakfast, things like that. It's a nice place. Alright, YouTube, we've come to that time. You know what it is. It is our obligatory church visit. And this one is in Corsica. Fairly early in our run this morning, but hey, we're walking right by, and so we decided, why not? Let's take a look at what a Corsican church looks like. All right, obligatory church video in the book. Not bad. Pretty little church. Corsican church. Very, very lovely. You know, it's funny. People have all kinds of fears and phobias. Fear of drowning, fear of heights, fear of snakes, fear of spiders, all of that stuff. The funny thing is, Hope's biggest fear in the whole world is stepping in dog poop. And so when you come to some places like this, she is so vigilant when it comes to making sure she's scanning ahead of her to not step in dog poop. It's actually quite hilarious, because different places have different standards in how they pick up dog poop, and apparently here in France it is not as strictly enforced as it is in Spain. I noticed people in Spain going around with bags, picking up into their dogs. They even carried squirt bottles filled with water, so if the dog was to urinate on the ground, they would spray it with water to rinse it away. That doesn't appear to be the case here in France, or at least not here in Corsica. Maybe in France proper, it's a different story, but here, no, there is quite a few bombs you have to watch out for. So keep that in mind as you are walking around and enjoying the sights and sounds of the island, which is quite large. I was surprised by the size of this island. You can see the water over here in the background, and a big giant Ferris wheel over there. This island is actually close to, I think, 150 miles long and 50 miles wide. So this is a big island. And a beautiful place, at least so far. We're going to head down into town now, and I'll bring you some video from down there. I am convinced that in order to be a French man over 50, you have to have a really cool haircut, a fancy pair of glasses, and a sleek outfit, because every Frenchman seems to have exactly that. And this is the #1 citizen of France right here. Say hello to everybody in America. Bonjour. So perhaps I was remiss earlier in mentioning that, of course, Corsica is the island from which Napoleon Bonaparte hailed. And one thing I learned while we were here is that he was not as short as we've all heard. Basically, he was around 5'7", which for the time was average height. And the stories we hear about him being so short were an English attempt to diminish his stature, I guess. No pun intended. Oh my God, YouTube. I don't know what you did right today, but gird your loins for this. Here in Corsica, you are going to get a second church. Yeah, you heard right. A second church. Not simply one today, but two. This one is much further down into the interior of the city. Looks to be a little grander. We'll see when we go inside though. Let's check it out. So, Not bad as far as churches go. That one seems to be a little bit run down. Maybe needs a little bit more money for upkeep. Or maybe the parish is just shrinking and they can't afford it. Who knows? But one thing I didn't mention that I probably should have is later on this month, towards the end of the month, we are of course going to be in Italy, which means that we will be taking you guys to the Mac Daddy of all churches, of course, in the Vatican. Now, I don't know if they'll allow me to film in there. My guess is probably not. So you might just have to settle for whatever I can sneak while I'm inside there, and a view from out front in St. Peter's Square. But we will be definitely bringing you that. And I'm sure there's probably a myriad of different churches that we can check out in Rome while we're there, along with all the other sort of Roman sites. And of course, along the way, we're also going to be going to Venice as well as Florence. So, plenty of opportunities to see houses of worship. Maybe I should do a whole separate channel just for that, who knows. So if gambling is your thing, well, you're in luck. Here is the municipal casino. Municipal casino, no less. So the government apparently is encouraging gambling, but probably one of the things folks come here for. I don't know whether that's legal in the mainland France or not. But here they have blackjack, roulette, anything you can want as far as casino games in the municipal casino, which is a nice spot overlooking the sea down here. So we have just made our way outside of the Citadel, which you can see behind us here. And if you walk over to this side, which is directly opposite the marina and the port area, you have a tremendous view here of the island and the water, and a lovely little beach down here, which is got some nice clear water, as you can see from up here, and a good view also of the Citadel itself. Right there is the lookout points that we were at earlier. Some of the mountains in the distance are actually quite long. Not sure where Hope has disappeared to. Oh, there she is. She's just being a little slow today. So here we are, day at the beach, France version, the island of Corsica. You can hear the waves lapping up in the background as we make our way along below the seawall here. The city is up above us, and it's quite a nice little beach right here. You see it there in the background. I am going to guess that between high and low tide you can walk around there in front of the Citadel and get to that larger beach, as far as it's larger in that the sand has more depth, it goes out further. This one here is a lot shallower, but there is a lot of dry sand up over on this side, so my guess is that even when high tide comes in, this probably still stays dry. I'm not sure what time that happens at, but right now it's about 12:30 in the afternoon, and there's nobody out here, and it's a nice day. And this is a beautiful beach, and it looks to be nice water too, so I think you could have a good time swimming here. There's Hope back there, always bringing up the rear. Are you coming? Yeah. What a way to spend a day though, right? Come to France, come take a walk on the beach, enjoy the weather and the beautiful, beautiful Mediterranean Sea. There's actually a big Ferris wheel over there in the distance, although it doesn't seem to be running right now. Probably at nighttime would be my guess. The city itself is bustling today. People are out and about everywhere, and we have been enjoying ourselves. Did have a little bit of difficulty finding a public bathroom, but eventually did. There was one inside the Citadel over there. Just a little bit of a journey to find it. But if you do need one, and you're here in Ajaccio, you can go into the Citadel and find a public bathroom. I think most of the cafes and restaurants have them as well too. So if you're going to stop and grab something to eat, you can pick up something and utilize the facilities as well. Open air, not what we would generally be deemed as beach people, but Hope does love to come to the ocean. She loves the beach. I think the difference, or the difference that falls in there, is that most of the time when you go to the beach in the U.S., it's during the summer or the late spring, and it's very hot. Neither one of us does very well in the heat, but she does love the ocean. Right, Hope? You love the ocean, right?
Yes.
This particular monument is a homage to the resistance fighters during World War II, 1940 to 1945. So those of you who are interested in your Second World War history, that is right down here by the harbor, a monument to the French resistance. So we've just made our way down here to the waterfront. Behind me here is the marina. As you can see, there's a big ship over there. Mountains in the background. This area is very scenic down here. It's probably quite nice on a sunny day. Had a few clouds roll in. It's gotten to be a bit overcast now, but it's still beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, any day on vacation, any day on an island in France is probably a pretty good day. Off past the big giant cruise ship over there, you can see a large ferry, which is my guess as to how you get back and forth to the mainland here. I will do some investigation and find out for you guys how long that takes to get yourself over here via ferry. Via plane, it's actually quite quick, less than about 30 minutes from the mainland where we were. So, awesome architecture. Some of the bars and restaurants are starting to open up now that were closed earlier in the day. So we're getting to be around that lunch hour time. It's a great place to walk. It's not too hilly to wear you out completely, but there is enough hills to make it worth your cardio while as you're here. And for the most part, people here seem pretty nice, so that's always a plus. I think that it's hard to beat the people in Spain. They always seem to be kind of the nicest that we run into here in Europe. But people here in Corsica have been wonderful to us today. So until next time, I'm the Ugly American. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Any questions or comments, put them down below, and any suggestions as well. I would be all ears and welcome to hear them. So, wherever, whenever, have a nice day.